Are you a student entering pharmacy school? In this video, I share 4 steps to have success during pharmacy school. Stay to the end where I share the most important step. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jessica Louie and I'm a board-certified critical care pharmacist, associate professor, and entrepreneur. I love helping people find meaning beyond a job title and combat burnout in their lives. On this channel, I talk about passive income and simplifying to combat feelings of burnout and stress in your life. I also share openly about my own burnout story in pharmacy and how we paid off massive student loan debt during residency and fellowship. Make sure to watch those videos as well. This video is my personal opinion. Many of you know I'm an associate professor at a school of pharmacy in California. I also graduated with my PharmD in 2013 from USC. This is my personal opinion and advice for pharmacy students. Let's break it down by year in the program. I'm going to start off with first-year students and then work my way up to second, third, and fourth-year students. Now, this is a traditional 4-year program I'm going to be talking about. If you're entering a 3-year, year-round program, you can definitely apply the same concepts to that program as well. My advice for your first year in pharmacy school, or your P1 year. Enter pharmacy school with an open mind about the opportunities that will arise and the people that you'll meet during this 4-year process. Befriend your classmates during orientation, exchange phone numbers, and get to know one another so you can support each other during this 4-year journey together. Be sure to also think about how you're going to form study groups and support one another with resources as you move throughout the program. Befriend upperclassmen as well. Maybe you'll meet them during orientation or the first few weeks of school. And befriending upperclassmen can be really helpful as some of these people will become your mentors and serve as resources as you apply into different programs, different leadership roles, and ask for study advice. Listen to the student organization presentations. Many of these will be presented during your orientation week. And I know there's a lot of acronyms within our student organizations and within the pharmacy world. Please be engaged in listening to these. I highly recommend you join at least 2 to 3 student organizations as a first-year pharmacy student. This way you can try out different ones, see what ones you really enjoy participating in, and then eventually you can run for leadership roles as a 2nd or 3rd-year pharmacy student. And this will help build up, your skill sets and also think about what you enjoy doing, what things you like to volunteer for, co-curricular activities, and also get to know your classmates and upperclassmen during this process. Next, get your intern pharmacist position. Now, many schools of pharmacy, you are going to become licensed as an intern pharmacist with the Board of Pharmacy in the states that you're attending school in. Most schools of pharmacy help you apply for this license within the first month of the program. And once you obtain your intern pharmacist license, you can start working as an intern pharmacist, which is a step up from a technician license and a step just below a licensed pharmacist in the state. So think about how you want to use this intern pharmacist license. Many times we can start applying to different positions, whether that's retail community setting positions or hospital inpatient settings or ambulatory care, managed care, or MTM type of services. There's lots of different types of intern pharmacist positions. I highly recommend thinking about what you're interested in, what your background is in, and it's really key to obtain an intern pharmacist position to apply the knowledge that you're learning in the classroom setting and start implementing that knowledge as soon as possible. Now, when you're applying, many of us will apply in the fall or spring semester of your first year. If you've never worked before, I do recommend waiting until the spring semester of your P1 year to start applying to job positions and then start interviewing for those positions. And whenever you obtain a position, start working 8 hours to maybe 16 hours per week while you're in school during the semester. And then when you're having breaks, whether it's winter break or summer break, you can work the traditional full-time schedule, 30 to 40 hours a week. You can also consider a specialized summer intern pharmacist position. Many of these are done through different programs where you apply with a detailed application sometime during the spring semester, interview, and then spend 8 to 10 weeks in a summer specialized intern pharmacist position. And many of these could be with some of the bigger organizations like the FDA or Veterans Affairs Services, or with different corporations and business leadership, or just working in a specialty field in the pharmaceutical industry. Many of these might be out of state for you depending on where you're attending your school of pharmacy. So please be sure to check with your mentors, your faculty advisors, your career services department and upperclassmen to see what kind of opportunities are out there and get your applications in early if you would like to pursue a summer intern pharmacist position. To recap your first year in pharmacy school, come in with an open mind about the opportunities and the people you'll meet, befriend your classmates, befriend your upperclassmen, join different student organizations and get involved to see what you enjoy doing. Obtain an intern pharmacist position or a summer intern pharmacist position. Now moving on to my advice for second year pharmacy students, your P2 year. Aim for that positive trend. Now, many times students entering the second year face some challenges with higher level therapeutics courses and more disease states and medication complexities. And sometimes it can mean that it's a hard adjustment during that fall semester of your P2 year. So aim for that positive trend where your grades are continuing to be on that positive trend from P1 year to P2 to P3 year. And you're, adjusting it to the different curriculum, the different content that could be challenging as you move throughout the years. Adjust your study strategies. As you're moving towards that positive trends in your grades as a P2 student, also think about your study strategies. With the higher level disease states and medication complexities, you might need to change your study strategies. And sometimes this means letting go of things that are no longer working for you and implementing new strategies that help you as a P2 student. I have a lot of different videos on how to study as a pharmacy student and ways to improve your study strategies. Make sure to watch those videos linked below as well. I highly recommend that you summarize disease states and focus on the content you're studying so you can summarize it into easy to flow diagrams and workflow for yourself, maybe a summary sheet of 1 page or even up to 5 pages. So you're narrowing down hundreds of pages of PowerPoints you might be given during your semester as a pharmacy student. And this is really helpful because sometimes we're really focused on the aesthetics of our notes, whether it means using different color codes, different markers, different types of diagrams and drawings. And at the end of the day, maybe that's not really serving us if it's taking up a lot of our study time. And we just need to study from some ugly notes that are going to get the job done and help us, understand the concepts so we can do well on the examinations and well so we can better serve our patients in the future. Teach others the material. The best way and the most effective way I think many people learn is by teaching other people the material. That means being able to pull out a blank piece of paper and write down everything you can recall about the disease state and the medication complexities. And then being able to teach someone it, whether you're teaching your dog at first or you're teaching a family member or you're teaching a classmate. And then anytime there is something missing or you forgot something, then you can leave a blank in your notes so you can go back and study that missing information later on. And anytime we can teach someone else the content, especially in a simple way that they can understand, the more you're going to feel confident going into your examinations and your OSCE type of scenarios. Next up is running for a leadership position. Now that you've narrowed down what student organizations you really enjoy getting involved in, you can run for a leadership position and really help serve in the community setting, that local or state setting, or eventually in the national setting in a leadership position, potentially as a P3 or P4 student. Finally, continue your intern pharmacist position that you had as a P1. Many times you'll continue that through graduation unless you decide it's not the exact specialty that you're interested in and a new opportunity arises where you can try a different intern pharmacist position as well. To recap my advice for second year students, aim for that positive trend in your grades, adjust your study strategies, teach others the material, run for a leadership position, and continue your intern pharmacist position. Next up, my advice for third year pharmacy students, your P3 year. Enjoy the journey. You have already made it halfway through the curriculum and halfway to graduation. Celebrate that milestone and continue to enjoy the journey, learning about new disease states and more medication complexities. Continue to get inspired and speak to your mentors, whether it's your faculty advisors, your upperclassmen, your alumni. Engage in different conversations with them so that you can learn what they're doing, how they got into their specialty fields, and how you can work towards that career path that you're most interested in. Also, if you have not been attending pharmacy conferences, this is a great time to make sure you're attending local, state, or national pharmacy conferences so that you can see what is going on and network with different pharmacists and different pharmacy students from other organizations as well. To recap your third year, continue to enjoy the journey, continue to have fun on this journey, Continue to get inspired and speak to your mentors. And of course, you can continue those leadership positions, those intern pharmacist positions, and the study strategies we talked about earlier. My advice for fourth year pharmacy students, your P4 year. For many of you, this means your APPE rotations, your advanced pharmacy practice experiences. And these rotations are a great way to take challenging rotations, try out new specialty fields, and see what you enjoy doing. Please be open-minded to each new learning experience on these rotations. There's something to learn from every single one, even if it's a rotation that you weren't as fond of going to because it wasn't ranked as high on your preference list or in a specific location. There's always a learning opportunity from it. And if the program has a residency or fellowship or job opportunities, it basically is a 6-week interview process for you. So doing well on each rotation can be really beneficial for you and great for networking. You can also watch my advice on APPE rotations in this video here or linked below. Continue to update your CV and accomplishments. Now, hopefully you've been updating your CV and your LinkedIn profile since your first year in pharmacy school. And if you have not been, this is a great time to start doing that. Make sure you have a LinkedIn profile. Make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm very active over there. And then also download our free CV template. If you'd like some advice on how to set up a CV, you can get that template in that video linked below. Finally, keep an Excel file of interesting patient cases, interventions, projects that you're working on during your APPE rotations. A lot of times it can be a blur after the end of the day to remember what happened. So having an Excel file of some of the examples and stories is really helpful, especially as you move into your interview season, whether it's for a job application or for residency or fellowships. Many interviews ask behavioral type of questions. That means you want specific examples and stories to tell during your interviews, and having an Excel file so you can pull 15 to 20 examples is going to be really helpful as you track your fourth year APPE rotations. You can watch my video on interview prep, and it comes with all of these questions to ask and think about during your interview prep. You can get that free document along with the free CV templates linked below. To recap your fourth year pharmacy student advice, do well on your APPE rotations and go into each one open-minded. Update your CV and get your free template if you don't have it already. Keep an Excel file to document interesting cases and specific examples to prep for interviews later. Now that we've gone through a lot of advice for pharmacy students and how to succeed in pharmacy school, what is the most important piece of advice I can leave you with? I think the most important piece of advice is to have fun and enjoy the journey. Don't think about chasing to that finish line and chasing it to graduation and getting into your career or getting into your residency or fellowship. Enjoy the journey. I know that I was really chasing to get to that finish line, and I did enjoy some of that process and some of that learning along the way, and it led to some of my burnout. And I hope that you're able to enjoy this process, live in the moment, and reduce the stress and burnout that pharmacy school may present. How are you preparing for pharmacy school? Please share your stories and questions below. Please also subscribe to the channel, like this video, and make sure to get the free resources linked below for pharmacy student, studying advice, residency advice, or burnout and financial freedom. Until next time, cultivate joy.